Om. Hello, I'm Dr. Dorie McCubbery, and I just finished practicing some meditation, which is part of the Give to Yourself principle, the fourth principle in EDIT, Eating Disorder Intuitive Therapy. But meditation is just one of the many ways that you can practice giving to yourself, integrating self-care into your everyday life. And it doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to have a special chair, or you don't have to use special hand posturings or sit in a specific position. You don't have to have a cushion that matches your top, and you don't have to have a cat sitting in your lap. Although it is nice when mine comes and visits me. So, I want to share a little bit about a holistic perspective around self-care. And that involves physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of self-care. You know, most of us think about physical self-care, like taking a hot bath or getting a massage. And we can also think about things that maybe are more obligations that don't really feel like self-care, but actually are, like keeping doctor's appointments, going to the dentist. So those are all examples of physical self-care, and there's so much more to it than that, though. So with emotional self-care, this is where you're really nurturing those inner realms of yourself in terms of emotions, nurturing the good times and the ones that are a little more challenging, giving yourself permission to feel, creating a sacred space to allow those emotions to come up. And whether it's journaling, like I've mentioned previously, or doing some art therapy, not so much as a way of coping with eating disorder behaviors. It's more about doing this on a regular basis. For example, I have a morning journal practice that I use every day. And it's not because I'm feeling like I might need to binge or purge or go run 10 miles or whatever it is. It's just that it's my foundation of self-care. So for me, that bridges a little bit into some spiritual self-care as well. So the journaling helps me check in emotionally, and it also helps me to turn up the volume of my intuitive therapist, my inner guide, to help me throughout the day. And of course, emotional self-care, if you happen to have a kitty on your lap, this feels really nice, very soothing to be able to sit and connect with my kitty. Emotional self-care might also be connecting with friends. So having plans for that on a regular basis. Intellectual self-care, well, that might be taking a class that you've wanted to take, learning a new language, something that's going to stimulate your mind. And then spiritual self-care, for some people that overlaps with religion, but it doesn't have to. What does spirituality mean to you? So you want to be checking in. What's going to be food for your soul? What I like to say, food for that hungry soul. So it's tuning in and finding those things that really help turn up that volume of that intuitive therapist and give you a sense of feeling centered and in a place of well-being. For some, I know I like being out in nature. I'm one of those people that enjoys that. So some people, it's a connection with nature. And for others, as I mentioned, it's more of a religious practice. I was already illustrating meditation as an example. And I also like to use some spiritual oriented types of books as a way to nourish that soul, give myself some soul food. So I think I'm going to do that right now, actually. And this is going to help me turn up the volume of my intuitive therapist, learning how to listen.